Hello everyone, I am Ritesh Chauhan working as an assistant professor in Computer Engineering Department at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. So we already complete the unit number 1 and 2. Now we proceed with the unit number 3, that is parsing theory, which has the weightage of 22%. Also from unit 3, the question asked in GTO examination has the weightage of about 14 to 21 marks from this single unit, which is lengthy also as well as most important unit in your entire syllabus. So the topics covered in this video are role of parser, context-free grammar, that is CFG, difference between syntax tree and parse tree, derivation, which also includes the leftmost derivation and rightmost derivation, and ambiguous grammar. So the first topic is the role of parser. Parser obtains strings of tokens produced as an output of lexical analyzer. Parser then groups the tokens appearing in its input as a statement to identify larger structure in the program. If any syntax error is found, it reports and implements recovery technique. This figure shows the position of parser in compiler model. So there are basically two types of parser. First one is top-down parser and second one is bottom-up parser. So the next is context-free grammar, CFG. Context-free grammar is a type of grammar used to define the way the statements are written for a programming language like Pascal or C. Basically, the grammar can be defined as four tuples, that is capital G equal to N sigma capital S capital P, where capital N is a finite set of non-terminals which is usually represented as uppercase letters such as capital A, B, C, Z, and also lowercase but in italic. Second one is sigma symbol. It is a finite set of terminal symbols which is represented as small letters like small a, b, c, and operator symbols such as plus sign, multiplication sign, minus sign, division sign. Also punctuation symbols such as parenthesis, comma, semicolon, also digit, that is from 0 to 9. If statement, that is if or id, is written in bold, then whole if is your terminal symbol and whole id is your terminal symbol. It is considered as a single terminal symbol. Okay, don't consider I separate and D separately. Next one is capital S, that is a special symbol. It is also known as start symbol. Next one is production, that is P. P is a set of production rules which specifies the manner in which the terminal and non-terminals can be combined to form a string. Let's understand this all with example. Suppose there is a grammar. Which are the terminal symbols? ID. So if this ID is written in bold, then it is also considered as terminal symbol. Okay, whole as a terminal symbol, not this I and D separately. Next one is this, as I say that all operators are considered as a terminal symbols, then opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, all are considered in terminal symbol. Then which are the non-terminals? These capital alphabets like E, T, F are considered in non-terminal symbol. Which is our start symbol? This first symbol is our start symbol of any grammar. Okay. And what is capital P? This whole grammar is known as production rule. Next one is the difference between syntax tree and parse tree. So the first difference is, in syntax tree, interior nodes are operator and leave nodes are operand. As I say in unit number 2, when we draw the syntax tree, the interior nodes are always operator and leaves nodes are always operands. Then what is parse tree? In parse tree, interior nodes are non-terminals and the leaves are terminals. We will see in the example. In syntax tree, it represents the abstract syntax tree of a program. That means compact. And in parse tree, it represents the concrete syntax of a program. Syntax tree contains only meaningful information, where parse tree contains unusable information also. Let's see the example. Suppose there is a grammar and the string is given. It is also considered as a plus b multiplied by c, because when we fed this a plus b into c in lexical analyzer, then this will be generated by lexical analyzer as id1 plus id2 into id3. Okay, that's why this string is also valid, this string is also valid. Okay, if you in examination, if this string is given, then you have to consider as id1 plus id2 into id3, and then you have to draw the syntax tree. So for drawing the syntax tree, which expression first evaluate? B into C. So id into id, then the answer will be added with the id1. Whereas in parse tree, first this start symbol is expanded by e into e. You can also expand with e plus e. There is no problem. Okay. Then this e will be expanded with e plus e. Why this e will be expanded by e plus e? Because our first symbol is plus. Okay, our first symbol is plus in the string. When we scan from left to right, then first operator is plus. That's why we expand this e with e plus e, and then this e will be directly derived by id. So we get the string that is id plus id into id. Okay, we have to scan from left to right. So we clearly see that in syntax tree the interior nodes are operator, but in parse tree the interior nodes are non-terminal. So the next topic is derivation. Derivation means to replace a non-terminal by the body of its production. So we have to replace the left hand side with the right hand side for any particular grammar. So derivation is used to find whether the string belongs to given grammar or not. There are basically two types of derivation. First one is leftmost derivation and second one is rightmost derivation. Let's see one by one. So derivation of a string w in a grammar capital G is a leftmost derivation if at every step the leftmost non-terminal is replaced first. Let's understand this with example. Suppose we have a grammar and we have a string a into a minus a. So for drawing the parse tree, we always start with the start symbol, that is capital S. So this S will be first replaced by S minus S or S into S. You can replace first by S into S also. You can also replace by S minus S. Both are true. So we are going to replace this S with S minus S. So according to leftmost derivation, we have to replace the leftmost non-terminal first. So what is our leftmost non-terminal? This is this S. So we replace first this S with its body. Okay. So we have to replace this S with S into S. Then and only then we can get the string. That is first multiplication sign and then minus sign. That's why this S will be replaced by S into S. Now from these three non-terminals, which was the leftmost non-terminal? This one. So we already get the multiplication in this minus symbol. So we replace this S with A to get the string. Okay. Now in these two non-terminal, which is the leftmost non-terminal? This one. So we replace first this S with A and at last this S with A. So parse tree also represents the structure of derivation. Let's see rightmost derivation. So derivation of a string W in a grammar capital G is a rightmost derivation if at every step the rightmost non-terminal is replaced. In leftmost derivation, the leftmost non-terminal is replaced, but in rightmost derivation, the rightmost non-terminal is first replaced. Okay, it is also known as canonical derivation. Let's understand. We take the same example. So first we have to start with the start symbol, that is capital S, and it will be replaced by S into S or S minus S. Both are true. Okay, so we are going to replace with S into S. So according to rightmost derivation, this S will be first replaced by S minus S. Why? Because we have a string with the minus symbol at last. That's why we have to replace this capital S with S minus S. As we are performing rightmost derivation, we have to replace rightmost non-terminal first. So from these three non-terminals, which is our rightmost non-terminal? This capital S. So we have to replace with A. As we already get the multiplication and minus symbol, that's why we are now getting our string by replacing with small a. So this S will be replaced by small a, then this S, and at last this S. So in leftmost derivation, the leftmost non-terminal will be replaced first by its body, and in rightmost derivation, the rightmost non-terminal will be replaced first with its body. So these are the exercise that you have to do by your own. If you have any query, please contact me. So the next is ambiguous grammar. A grammar that produces more than one parse tree for the same sentence or the string is called ambiguous grammar. It is also known as ambiguous grammar is one that produces more than one leftmost or more than one rightmost derivation for the same sentence or for the same string. It is known as ambiguous grammar. Let's understand with example. Suppose we have a grammar S tends to S plus S, S into S, S and A, and the string is A plus A into A. If we are able to draw two parse tree for this sentence, then we can say that the given grammar is, this grammar is ambiguous grammar. It may be more than 2, 3, 4. Okay, if we draw more than one parse tree, then we can say this grammar is ambiguous. So we start with the start symbol, capital S, then we derive maybe from S plus S or S into S. So in first we are taking S into S, in second we are taking S plus S, and parallelly we are drawing parse tree. If we draw two parse tree for this sentence, then we can say this grammar is ambiguous. So as we are doing leftmost derivation now, so we first replace leftmost non-terminal. From here this S, and from here this S. So from this S, what we are going to replace with S? S plus S. Why? Because our first operator is plus, and here we are directly put the string, that is A. S tends to A. Why? Because if we write A, then and only then with this S we can expand that S with S into S. Okay. Now from these three non-terminals, according to leftmost derivation, we first derive this S, and in this example we are deriving this S because there is only one non-terminal here. Now from these two non-terminal we are going to derive this non-terminal S, and from these two, this leftmost non-terminal will be derived first. So both are replacing with A, and last S is also replaced by A. So here two leftmost derivation for the string A plus A into A is possible. Hence this grammar, we can say this grammar is ambiguous. So if you have a string, if you have a grammar, if you draw more than one leftmost or more than one rightmost derivation for the same sentence, then you can say the grammar is ambiguous. So these are the exercises to check the given grammar is ambiguous or not. This all string are asked in GTU examination also. Thank you.